and welcome to Knit with Hannah. I'm Hannah and I'm here with Knitting Natter to help you learn to knit the easy way. Thanks for joining me this morning. We are looking today at garter stitch, and it can be a bit confusing if you're starting to knit and you're looking at patterns and it says garter stitch scarf maybe, and you say, I don't know what garter stitch is, so I'm not going to pick it up and I'm not going to knit it. Well, let me show you garter stitch. It is as simple as putting your needle into the stitch, putting your yarn around and dropping that stitch off of the left hand needle. Guess what? Every stitch is knitted. And you'll do one row like this. Let me just speed along here for you. And you will get to the end of the row. You will turn your needles around and do exactly the same thing on the next row. Your yarn goes into the stitch, your needle goes into the stitch, your yarn goes around, you pull that stitch through and you drop the last one off of the needle. Every single stitch on every single row is knitted. So as soon as you start to knit, you know garter stitch. You can do garter stitch. Don't ask me why it's called garter stitch. I have no idea. But this is garter stitch, and that's what it looks like. You have the texture on both sides. It looks identical on both sides because when you create a knit stitch, let me show you this. When you create a knit stitch, you have the new stitch pulled through, and when you drop that stitch off of the needle there, it falls to the back. So every single one of those falls to the back, and that falls off of the needle, and you can see those ridges there. That's all that is. That's the discarded stitch from the previous row, and that is why, because you're doing the same stitch on every row, all of the stitches get discarded at the back, and therefore as you're swapping the rows over, each row has alternative rows drop on this side and alternative rows drop on this side. So it looks the same, it looks identical, and for a longer piece it will look like that. There you go. You can make large scarves with this, you can make bracelets and things with this stitch. It's really versatile. You can go over to my website. I'm starting to create beginner patterns with garter stitch. There will be a whole collection. If they're not there now, then they will be there soon. So sign up for my email list, because I will tell you on my email list, and I might even give you a discount. Can't promise anything, but I might. I think that's a probably I will. If you're there now and it's not up there yet, or it's up there soon, you may well either see an offer for an introductory price, or yes, I will show you that it's there and you will get all of the patterns for a reduced price. So come on over and look at all my beginner patterns. They're there. It can be quite difficult to just comprehend how many stitches you need, how much you have to knit, all that kind of thing when you're starting out. So following a pattern is a good idea in many ways, or at least following a tutorial. So there you go. That's your garter stitch. It is showing all of the stitches on alternative rows, and it's knitting every single stitch. There you go. It's not that difficult. And as soon as you start knitting, you're there. You've started. You're creating garter stitch without knowing it. Okay, I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy knitting.